Hello there, this is James and you're watching Tixee Live. And a very good afternoon to all of you, and all of you a very happy Tuesday. In today's program, I want to discuss more dire warnings about the EU energy crisis, plus, again, some more positive US data and the outcome that is having on the market. But before we get into all of that, don't forget, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence. And of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. With that out the way, let's get started. So yes, we've had further warnings about how serious this energy crisis in Europe is. In fact, German gas giant UPA warns that the worst is still to come. Don't forget, over the weekend, Nord Stream 1 is being shut down indefinitely. And though Germany has been doing very good with their stockpiles, are currently about 84%, close to the target of 90% to hopefully get them through winter. German gas giant UPA says yes, the worst is still seriously to come. And like I say, it is their biggest importer of gas, UPA. In fact, UPA's CEO, Klaus-Dieter Mumbach, has said, and this is what he said: I have said this a number of times now over this year, and I'm educating also policymakers that the worst is still to come. So he's telling the policymakers, politicians in Germany, the worst is still to come. And he carries on to say, what we see on the wholesale market is 20 times the price that we have seen 2 years ago. So gas prices and energy prices can be 20 times more than they were 2 years ago. He also went on to say, that is why I think we need to have a real open discussion with everyone taking responsibility on how to fix that. So basically, in other words, he's sort of saying they need a real open discussion. The politicians need to come out and understand the severity of the situation, So he's actually sort of putting a little bit of blame on the politicians a little bit for maybe putting their head in the sand too much and not realizing how serious this matter is. When asked about any future relationships with Russia, he basically said the partnership is broken. They're not going to be able to fix it within weeks, months, or years. They need to see an alternative straight away. In fact, Europa share price is down more than 88% year to date. It's down 88%. So it is quite a scary warning that, like I say, the CEO of the biggest gas importer are saying that, the measures being taken at the moment isn't going to be enough. They seriously need to address this matter, and they need to be honest about it and look at an open discussion how to fix it. So a pretty scary warning with that. On other things, US ISM Services PMI was announced at 56.9 versus 51.1 expected. In fact, that's even higher than the previous reading. The previous reading was 56.7. So again, good news. Good US data. Again, we had a reasonable job number last week. Okay, I know the unemployment rose slightly, but again, it's still record lows. But we're having good US data again. So despite the fact that Europe is struggling, the UK is struggling, Asia is struggling with obviously the lockdowns happening, the US seems to still be tinkering along quite steady. So what does that mean to the market? Well, basically, the euro sinks. It's sunk. It's basically back down below 99 again. Currently trading at 98,826. We'll have a look at the charts in a minute. And what else has happened? Well, the GBP. Remember what I've said this morning? Well, it's losing that happy feeling. Obviously, it bounced this morning on rebound on some promises made by the new UK Prime Minister Trust. I did say at the time, I wonder how long this happy feeling is going to last for. Well, not very long. At the moment, the happy feeling has dissipated. Plus, as well as that, and I've got a question about this, which I'll answer in a bit as well. The dollar yen has pushed past the 142 level, and that's a new 24-year high. So let's get into the market and see what's happening. So here we go. Here's the euro. Like I said, on the back of obviously that warning. That gas warning, that US data coming through as well. It's currently ducked down again, 99, currently trading 0.90, 98.833. It's seen a little bit of dip buying on this, obviously, so that's understandable. But like I say, again, it's actually, it is still remains under pressure because I think that gas warning, and obviously we have a strong US dollar, because if we keep getting reasonable US data, reasonable results, the Fed's going to pull the trigger on 75 on the 21st of September. So we're seeing strong dollar again. So if we look at the sterling as well, like I said, let's look at the 30 minutes at the moment. Look, this is rising here this morning when we did the morning broadcast. Again, I called it the trust bounce. I did say at the time, how long will that happy feeling last? And it hasn't lasted into the US session. It actually came down and it did fall under the 115 handle, and it touched that key level there, which we've been looking at, 1.14936, and it has bounced in there slightly at the moment. But the sterling, like I said, has lost that happy feeling at the moment. Dollar yen, new 24-year high, currently trading at 142.83, on a serious uptrend. It has been for a while. I did have a question in reference to this left in the comment section on this morning video, which I'll talk about now. Obviously, and I'll read the question now, and it's a good friend of mine. It's somebody who often watches the program. I really appreciate it. And he said, "Hi James, what do you think about the dollar yen? You see it soaring further, as it obviously as it appears to be on a long-term trend. It is a trending pair at the moment. RSI not oversold. Is it a possible buy?" Obviously, of course, I can't give trading advice, so I can't tell you to buy or to sell. I can't tell you that. But let's have a look at it and let's have an open discussion about it. That we can do, because it's a discussion, isn't it? Let's have a quick look at the RSI. And I put it on a daily. I'll put it on a daily again in a minute. Indicators. Let's insert indicators. Here we go. Oscillators. Where are we going? There it is. RSI. So let's put the RSI. Hang on. What's happened to my RSI? Give me a second. Let's have a look. Why is it not working? RSI. Okay, this is the RSI. Okay, this is on a daily. All right, because I like to look at longer term patterns. Hey, nice to see you, Mr. Paul. I hope you're well and having a great day. And thank you for coming along and watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Right, like I was saying, so yeah, so this is on a daily. Okay, it's 142.72. The RSI on a daily is sort of showing slightly that it's over 70. Don't forget, when it's over 70, it sort of indicates that it's potentially oversold. So there is that. If we have a quick look at a potential trend here as well, though. No, that's too sharp. I don't like. Remember, I'm going to be doing a video, hashtag Ask James video, this Friday on trend lines. And one of the things I will be discussing is obviously is obviously to never draw your trend line too sharp, because that can be misleading. It's still clearly on a clear uptrend as well. The RSI is above 70, but it's not over dramatic. So it is showing room. There is obviously potentially further growth for a further move higher. And there is a couple of fundamentals in that, which we'll talk about as well. The other thing as well, analyst from JP Morgan today on this pair, and he used the same reasons, which, is my opinion. Okay, is that he actually sees a potential at some point of it reaching 145, the dollar going to 145 against the yen. So he is a bull on the dollar yen, the dollar against the yen. So yeah, there clearly is obviously a sign that it's still on an uptrend, and it has been for a while. But like I say, again, you need to prepare for the dips as well from some of the sell-offs. And the reason why I think, like I said, the reason why I think in general, let's look at the RSI. See, RSI on the 30 again, that's quite dramatic in the short term. So that's indicating that is oversold, overbought. So you might get a little bit of profit taking in the short term. So be careful of that. But like I said, the reason why he's quite bullish on this pair, and again, I don't know the question on that, Mr. Paul. You need to talk to. Unfortunately, I'm just an analyst. I don't see the bits and pieces like that. You need to speak. If you're having technical issues, you need to speak to your account manager to assist you, and they should be able to assist you. I wouldn't know what technical issues you're experiencing on that. So the market I know, but technical issues like that I don't know. So I can't help you on that, I'm afraid. But please talk to one of your account managers. They should definitely be able to assist you with any technical issues. What I'm going to say, so yeah, he is a bull on this pair. I can understand why, and I'll tell you the argument why. Because you have two very conflicting central banks. You have the Fed, who is aggressive, who is increasing interest rates, okay, rapidly. They're fighting inflation, which is 8.7% at the moment. They want to get it down to 2%. They are dedicated to get it down to 2%, and they're aggressive. Okay, so they will be raising interest rates. By the end this year, possibly to 3.75%. That's probably where they want to get the rates to. So they're aggressive, which of course is going to give more dollar strength. On the other side, you have Bank of Japan, who is reluctant to change its monetary policy. It has a very loose monetary policy, which is weakening the yen. Okay, so unless they take action about changing their monetary stance, which they're not doing at the moment, and we've had a weak yen for a while, and they have not done this. Okay, I think it would take a pretty more dramatic move for them to start to do it. What they can do is they can change their monetary stance, and maybe they can start actually doing a bit of buying the yen themselves, put maybe some intervention with it. So for now, like I say, long-term wise, there's still a potential uptrend on this pair. Okay, unless the Bank of Japan changes its monetary status or monetary stance, which it's basically hinted that it's not going to do that. It's not going to do that. So yeah, so that's the thing with that. So yeah, like I say, again, I can't give advice. I can't say exactly, but I hope that helps a little bit of my opinion on this particular pair at the moment. So we have a quick look at gold as well, because gold is coming under pressure after that US data, obviously. Yeah, okay. So the day's gone on 30 minutes. It was trading above the level of key level, which I always thought if it could break cleanly through and can hold it, set 1,711. It's underneath that on the back of this ISM services PMI, currently trading now at $1,704. And let's have a look at the S&P 500 as well. Again, under pressure. It did start off sideways today, but clearly that US data has again put the markets, it spooked the markets. The market is now assuming that the Fed is going to do 75 on the because I say that is good US data. That is better than anticipated. Currently trading now under 39,000 points, currently trading at 3,894 points. Like I said, the whole market is now spooked. Reason feeling, obviously, is that obviously with good US data coming through, it's not going to hold back the Fed. But we knew this anyway, because he did say this. He said this a couple of weeks ago. He was not going to hold back no matter what the US data was. So, yeah, it shouldn't be really of a surprise. Other key events to come. Okay, we had Australian GDP. We have Bank of England monetary policy report, EU gross domestic product, Bank of Canada interest rate decision, ECB interest rate decision. That could be a potential real barn burner. I will be doing a watch along for that event, and an ECB press conference. Those are the two big events. Will the ECB do a Fed and raise by 75 basis points? Let's wait and see. So please come and join me for that. The market, as they currently stand, FTSE slightly negative in the red, negative 0.13%. DAX currently trading slightly higher, 0.60%. And Euro Stock 50 currently trading negative 0.14%. Don't forget, you can ask me questions anytime you wish in relation to the market or about my experience, So please feel free to ask me anytime you wish. So please feel free to ask me questions. Please feel free to ask me, or tell me your opinions. Tell me what you think is your opinion on the market, etc. I mean, are we pretending every now and then not to take this energy crisis in Europe seriously, or can they get themselves out of this? Can they get themselves out of the woods in time? Can we sort it? I think that was quite a scary warning, which the CEO said. To be honest, that he's belittling the politicians on this, so saying that they're kidding themselves. And in a way, he's saying that. That's how I interpreted it. Anyway, okay. If there is no questions, not a problem. Don't forget, if you think of a question later, like this gentleman did. Okay, put it in the comment section on either YouTube and Facebook. I will see them, and I will reply to them next time I'm live on air. So do bear in mind you have that option as well, because I do see the comments and I do reply to the answers when I can. And don't forget as well, we're doing the new series, #AskJames. Leave in the comments any suggestions, any educational topics you'd like me to cover, because don't forget, it's a new series, it's a very different series. So please feel free to come and join me for that as well. Or leave your ideas for topics. I need you guys. I need the topics you want, because without you, I don't know what you guys want to learn. So feel free to share that with me today. Like I said, this week was a suggestion by, I think, I've got his username written down, October Zest, I think it is. He wants to do trend lines. So I'm going to do a video episode of #AskJames on trend lines, and that's going to be on Friday. Okay, if there is no further questions, not a problem. Don't forget, I'll be back online again tomorrow at 8 a.m. UTC, and again tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. UTC to cover the US session. And like I say, anyway, till next time, if you're watching me on Facebook, if you like it, by all means, give us a follow. If you're watching me on YouTube and you enjoyed this little video, by all means, subscribe if you like. Hit the notification button so you know next time I'm going live. If you enjoyed this little video and found it useful, and you put up with me, my over-the-top enthusiasm for the markets, which I simply just cannot help, give me one of these. It's nice to know that you like what I do. Anyway, till next time, don't forget, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research, do your own due diligence, and of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. Till next time, every single one of you, trade safe.